The Object 752 seems to be very well regarded within the community, but for me personally, I just can't stand this gun. When we head over to Tomato GG, you'll see that for the last 30 days for tier 9 heavy tanks, it's one of the most played tanks. It sits just below the 50 TP and just above what the T10 is. And 192,000 games is quite a lot for the last 30 days. And this is actually the most played heavy tank at tier 9 that is a premium vehicle. Because the phase 1, even though that it is highlighted in orange here, it is only a reward vehicle. It will not earn extra credits per battle. Although saying that, the tier 9 vehicles in general that are tier 9 premiums don't really earn as much as the tier 8s do. But they still earn extra credits regardless. When we go ahead and look at the win rate difference, you'll see that this is nearly a 2% difference from what your standard win rate would be in comparison to what you'd get in this vehicle. At least on average for all players. And most people who are playing this tank have a 51% win rate, and they're averaging 53.6. DPG wise is also very, very good. It is the third highest, excluding the Medved, because this is actually an unreleased vehicle, so we should exclude that completely. So it is the second highest, below the Concept 1B, which is quite surprising to me that it is that high up. So as I said, people seem to absolutely love this vehicle, and for stats wise, for the last 30 days, you would think that this is borderline OP with how good it is. And when you take a look at the armor model, you quickly see why this thing is so well regarded as well, because yeah, this is very, very hard to pen. And the lower plate is exceptionally troll, because if you actually look at the visual model, yeah, you might think that this is part of the lower plate where it kind of is at the front still and it's bowing around, and you might think, yeah, that's a bit weak. It's not. That's a very, very strong part of the tank. The only part that you're actually going to pen is right below it, where it kind of bows down like this. So that means that when you are side scraping or doing anything with this vehicle, it becomes a nightmare to deal with. Because if you do side scrape and you don't have enough pen, even that lower plate could quickly become a problem, especially against tier 8s or below. I mean, God forbid you meet tier 7s in this thing, because that is just not even, it's not even funny how broken this thing is against tier 7s. But if you do want to pen it when it is side scraping, you shoot underneath the tank right here. Obviously you need about 200 pen, and that is not a very, very easy thing to see, but you go through this kind of front drive wheel and aim a little bit low, and you should be able to find it. Alternatively, when they are looking at you, just pen the cupola. The cupola is always going to be a penning shot, no matter what happens in the battlefield. As soon as it looks at you, it will have that shot available to you. Now you can obviously, when you are reloading, etc., you then point your gun all the way up to try and hide those cupolas as best as you can. And then once you're ready to fire, you go back down and you're able to shoot at whoever it might be. But remember, your cupolas are then exposed. So yeah, kind of an idiot-proof tank with regards to the hull armor especially. And then once you do know about the weak spot on the cupola, not to mention you can get overmatched here with greater than 90mm caliber guns. However, that's very rare it's going to occur. It's not too bad once you know all of these things. Anyway, this is not going to be a full review. This is just me playing 3 games in it and then sharing my opinions on the tank. To set it up, we're using HP, Vents, and Stab. The reason being is I've already mentioned I really, really don't like this gun. This gun is horrendous. You have 0.35 dispersion, and that is using vents as well, with food and all the other crew skills that I've got going as well. It's really not a very accurate gun in the slightest, and anything you can do to boost it up, the better. We're obviously keeping hardening, because also in conjunction with the first field mod being on the left-hand side, it then makes this very, very healthy in regards to track health. Because yes, it is more than good enough across all terrain types to choose this field mod on the right hand side. And if you do want the rest of the field mods, this is what they would look like if you fully max them out. For the alternative loadout for this vehicle, we do have optics going out for the hardening. This is only for Prokhorovka, remember. We don't choose it on any other map. And then finally for the crew skills, you can copy them down if you want to. I'm just going to quickly go through them just to show you what I'm using. With the commander, gunner, driver, and then the loader. Okay, so we're on Redshire. Now we're going to go to the right hand side, obviously, to go and fight the heavy tanks and be very annoying with going hold down as best as we can. Now there is obviously a few different equipment loadouts you could choose. You could obviously get rid of the hardening and go for turbo if you wanted to, and then you go onto the left hand side field mod for that. The only reason why I don't use that is because I just let it be slow. I'm not going to try and make it go any faster. I'll just let it be slow, let it be a bit of a slug, and just deal with it as and when I, get to the battlefield. It doesn't really matter too much for this style of tank, because most of the time you can get there, and then it's about once you get there what you can do with yourself. I don't think that the turbo going pushing it up to 41 necessarily benefits over hardening, because most of the time you want to be brawling with this tank, not kind of a peekaboo tank. Because even though it has an autoloader, it's not too long for the reload time, and you should usually be able to get into a situation where you're pretty safe from other people, but then you can just expose your tracks and side scrape and be annoying that way. So anyway, pushing up to here, because the only thing that we really need to be aware of is anybody that's knocked this tree over here, which it is still standing, so we have that to our benefit. And then obviously anyone at the very back of the map. I don't know off the top of my head what the gun depression actually is. I know that it's quite good, but XM is sitting at the very back, and we are getting shot by everybody now. Okay, that was a awful peak and an awful trade. We're just going to go back and reload then. I'm not too sure what IS-2 is doing, but he is a tier 7 in a tier 9 game, so yep, I guess he's enjoying life. I also don't know what Asceta's doing. We don't have a light tank, apparently. Even 90 has died at the start of the game, and Asceta has decided that he wants to be an artillery piece. So, yep, I guess that's a thing. Penetration-wise of this vehicle is not great. It's really not great, actually. It's 240 for the standard rounds, and then 310 for the premium rounds. So the premium rounds are good, but the standard rounds are pretty bad. Let's just put it that way. This is what I mean. Like this gun handling is really not it. I mean, I'm not using the reticle mod at the moment, or at least I haven't changed the settings for the reticle mod because I keep forgetting. Just like with every single update that goes on in this game, I will forget to change the mod settings for my mods. But this gun is incredibly derpy. Incredibly derpy. There we go. Finally, we get one shell in. Aim up for that, so that we hide the cupolas. Eventually, I remembered. Well, I mean, this is not looking so good. As long as this T-34-3 dies, we're actually fairly safe, I think. Because we can then try and make these shoot this as they push over. At least that's the plan. We'll just aim up for this. And I no longer have gun depression to be able to do this. Okay. Up. I hate this gun so much, man. It's horrible. It's really horrible. It really is. It's... this is what I mean. I don't see how people can like this tank with this gun handling that it has. I have to try and get out of the way of this guy. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, this video is not about making the tank look good. This is about a true-to-life performance of what you would expect for the vehicle. And I'm telling you right now, this gun will treat you very badly 90% of the time. Sometimes the gun just works. But most of the time, it really doesn't. So after that game, we got a massive 8 shots fired, 4 hits and 2 pens for 700 damage. And we earned 37k credits profit. During holiday ops, with boosters running. And welcome now to Glacier, where I've fixed my mods, I've adjusted the reticle size and everything else, so we should all be good. We've also got national mail voices, which is what I usually have. The only thing that I've forgotten to do is to remove the distance marker from friendlies. So the rest of it should be back to normal. But there may be people that look at the last game and say, well, Max just hates on this tank, he hates this tank, you know... I don't actually dislike this vehicle. I dislike the gun heavily, but the rest of the tank is very, very good. It's just that this vehicle requires it to be so close you would basically be giving them a prostate exam. Like, the gun is just that awful. Anything over like 50 meters, you're just rolling the dice. You know, it's really quite bad. And the penetration is bad, but not awful. Like, I wouldn't say that the penetration is like a turn-off for this tank, because you can make it work most of the time. And the armor values alone make it really, really good and really, really nice to play. Pens the upper hole, okay, just like that. He doesn't care. I mean, he could have probably penned the upper hole. I don't actually have the gun depression for that, or gun elevation for that. He could have probably actually penned the upper hole right there with AP, and I didn't quite hit that. But yeah, he got a little bit lucky regarding that, although he is taller than me. So, because he's taller than me, it's an easier pen. But yeah, I don't hate this tank. I just feel that it's got a lot of hype, and I would say undeservedly so. I think it's overhyped. A lot of people overhype this vehicle for what it actually is. I think it's a good tank, but I don't think that it's OP or anywhere even close to being that. And we are in now a very, very bad situation, because these people being above us, although one of them does get taken out, so that's not too bad. Now that he's been taken out, we should be able to push forwards to down here and then try to fight these. The only problem is that we can't actually push this because of the tortoise at the back and anybody else that might try to go back as well. So we need to be very, very careful about that. Hopefully that TVP dies before he starts unloading into me. Yep, very nice. And now we can try and deal with Mr. Conqueror, which we can put one into his side. He is a little bit over-angled though. I think we can overmatch his upper hull as well. Right, we're going to go and load APCR now as well, because we need it. We actually lost the hill for the char, although he is only a one-shot, so maybe he dies by over-peaking. It's always a little bit awkward to try and know what to do in this situation, because you could go around to the middle and then try and fight people that way. Just trying to find an angle, but I can't. I would love to cross to try and kill this E100, but I need him to fire. Right, he has fired, which is very good for us. We can put one into his track, one more into his lower plate, and then one into his track there. And I am now in a very bad situation right there. Maybe we can get some form of spotting on the Lion and friends, although they're behind a rock. This is what I mean by it's really quite bad to try and push down this way. You can try and keep the Lion spotted. We do have a lot of spotting done, so we do have that going for us, at least. There's Mr. Lion. One shot on this guy, maybe? Didn't really go anywhere close, did it? Alright, well, now we wait. We have to just wait for this, because I can't really peek the tortoise and the lion. Man, that's a sentence that you never really thought you would hear in World of Tanks. There is a tortoise and a lion at the back of the map. As I said, 50 meters or more, you're just rolling the dice. Like, this tank is not suited to anything past that. Wow, this is very slow though. Another miss to the char. Puts one into us. Maybe we can try and angle this. Nope. Well, I mean, we won. Oh, and for those of you that are wondering why I'm not using smooth ride on this tank, it does nothing. Like, it literally does nothing. These are the stats with and without smooth ride. Yeah, I'm not picking that. I'd rather have clutch braking or something like that. But I don't know. I don't know how people would like this tank. At least we earned credits. But I mean, we completed a mission for 50k. That game would have earned us 100k credits. Which is nothing. in a tier 9 premium tank. This is what I mean by the tier 9s are nothing in comparison to tier 8s. If that was in a tier 8, for that result, we probably would have earned about 200k. Without even a booster. Without even a what is it called? Mission. There we go. Tier 9 premiums are really, really underwhelming when it comes to credits. Well, for our third and final game, we're on Mines. Now, this is probably the best map that we could have got, well, out of the three. At least with this map, it's a little bit more close quarters. There's no artillery as well. It's a tier 10 game, unfortunately, but it should be a lot nicer because I mean, honestly, the games that we've had so far, the maps have not really been it for this tank. They really haven't. And also the team layout for that first map was absolutely awful. Well, I don't think anybody could say that my team played well, especially in that with that setter sitting at the back of the map. But it's hopefully going to be a little bit better in this map. At least the potential is there for this map. I mean, wow, like even with stab, the bloom on this is really bad. Like, really, really bad. What do they have at the back of the map? A Foch 155. I can't really shoot any of these right now. Well, I need to keep my turret up like this. I'm just seeing if I can actually see anybody over here. If that Foch 155 is at the back of the map, his heat rounds will go straight through me. It won't even matter about, you know, if I put this turret up or not. Well, nothing is happening in here. I'm going to go around to the left-hand side and maybe play with them because I can't shoot anyone here. And also, straight away, we are going to go in Intuition to APCR because I do not want to fight an IS-4 with standard rounds. Or a Malshan, for that matter. So, let's see. Where is Mr. Malshan here? One in, very nice. Leo pushing all the way out. We do need to be careful about him, but hopefully our 140 move pushes up a little bit as well. ML2 pushing up is quite good as well, because then that leaves us to fight over here. DZ, hello. Nice. I mean, we got 2 shots in. We've done as much damage as we did in the first game. I also don't know what that lag was. I mean, every single time that I play this tank, it feels like I'm fighting the gun more than I'm fighting the enemies. And I think that's a pretty fair thing to say about this tank. This tank and other tanks that have similar style of gun handling, it really does feel like you are fighting the gun more than the enemies. And I really don't like the way that is. Like, the gun should work at a decent distance. You know, like this far away, he's 74 meters away. It shouldn't really be too much of an issue. He has 340 heat though, so he is going to go straight through me every time. His 340 heat will go straight through, like, upper plate, middle, whatever it might be. Oh, hello, Mr. Malshan. Almost completely perfect timing as well. Oh, full! It's a miracle. You know what? If you can land three shots, you land a full clip. It is an absolute miracle in this vehicle. As I was saying with the first game, though, the reload time doesn't feel too bad. It's just the fact that you only get 3 shots with 400 alpha, so then the DPM comes like massively down. It's not good DPM. But at least it's not like a 40 or 50 second reload or something like that. It should really have one more shot in the magazine. One more into him to finish him off. If this had one more shot in the magazine, I think it would actually be pretty good DPM. I don't know what DPM that would make it. Maybe it would make it too OP and I'd have to adjust the reload time, but I don't know. Everyone's been spotted currently, so let's see if we can just try and put one into this IS-4. I forgot, sorry. Every single shot needs to be completely fully aimed and under a certain distance, otherwise it will not hit. At least we got 3,000 damage. We had to spam full APCR, but at least we got damage. I mean, that's the thing. In tier 10 games, your standard rounds are pretty useless, especially against heavy tanks. Let's see if we can... I can't really side scrape against this because the projectile... Oh wait, the projectile is dead. Good job, Max. Let's see if we can just side scrape against this then. I can't actually see them because of the bush. No, they are not there anymore. They have pushed all the way back. But that also means that the Foch could come back around as well, because no one's actually peeking this up here. Now, we only have 3 shells left of the premium rounds, which is a little bit bad, actually. And another reason why it's not so great is the ammo capacity, which I haven't really touched on because we haven't been alive long enough to deal with the ammo capacity issues that this tank has. But most people will just go full APCR on this because, yeah, I mean, comparing APCR to AP, there's no reason to fire the standard rounds. Especially as it does make more credits, you're basically going to break even to obviously then make credits as well if you do have all the boosters running, if you go full gold. But let's just see, if we go around about here, we can then be a little bit more annoying to anybody that wants to try and peek up this. I don't want to go too far up because then that exposes me for the right hand side. Hello. Would I get a shot on you? Let's be honest, no is the answer. That is not worth taking a shot for. Although I can be annoying. So I can just peek up like this. He does have 340 heat, however, I don't think that he'll go through me. Not at this type of angle. Maybe he will. Who knows? Oh, he wasn't even looking. I just assumed he was looking. They have taken over that side though. Well, I mean, let's just side scrape here and just see. Actually, this is a bad idea, because if they go up there, there's no one to even shoot them. The tortoise can't shoot that. He would have to move around. So, I mean, maybe we just sit here and just see. We can probably just sit like this. Although we won't even spot them, even if they go there. It's just a bit awkward. I guess we just sit here and wait and just see if we get spotted. If we get spotted, then we know that they're there. Okay, so the projectile is out that way. The 30B was lost on 1,100 health. So let's try and push forwards this way and just see what we can see. Oh, they're both over that way. I don't really know what they're doing, but let's see if we can get some shots on them. They're a little bit stuck there. There's the Foch. Managed to take that guy out. I don't have clean shots on him because I can't see through that wreck. The Foch is still just chilling. Shelma takes out the Conqueror as well, though. That's really not good. Alright, we'll just side scrape on this bit, see if he peeks out there over here, and then we'll put our last shell in. Our last shell of APCR, and then we're down to just the AP rounds. I don't even know where that one went. Well, I mean, yep, that's a game, I guess. Well, at least we can apply it. But yeah, we fire 15, we hit 13, we pen 10. I don't know what to say. Like, this tank is just... The gun is just awful. So for me, the 7.52, I don't mind the rest of the tank, but the gun completely ruins it for me. And for a lot of people, I know they feel the same way, where as soon as they encounter tanks where they just have absolutely horrendous guns, it doesn't matter what the rest of the tank is. If the gun is that useless, they won't play it. It is one of the better tier 9 premiums, but at the same time that's not really saying much because most of the tier 9 premiums are just fine. If you can get it for a decent price, it's probably not a bad pickup. However, just be aware about that gun. I'll see you on the next one.